Hello, it's me, Jack-a-Lopium. Welcome along. We're back playing some more Encased. We have just found an important relic that we need for a bunch of quests at the Phalanx base. We're still at the Phalanx base, however, I've done all the checking off camera. Everything has been looted. Every single thing has been looted. So, there is one more thing we need to do before we leave, and that is talk to this guy, Hieronymus Zemeckis. Yep, that's a name, alright.
A short man in a military jacket looks at you with keen and curious eyes. Hands behind his back, he takes your measure from head to foot. He offers you a small, plump hand.
Hieronymus Zemeckis. My employees call me Papa. I already know who you are. To what do I owe the pleasure?
We need an all-terrain heavy vehicle for the expedition.
Looks like Zemeckis is taking close note of your every word.
The expedition's destination is
a
mountain range in the center of the dome, right? And the vehicle must be powerful enough to deliver a lot of large equipment, I suppose. Curious.
He imitates a spinning wheel with his fingers.
If the vehicle you need can only be found in the Phalanx, then it must be one of our famous trucks.
Awesome.
See?
I didn't know they were
I know
famous.
already what you need. There is something else I'd like to know, however. One can never have too much information, my friend.
Okie dokie.
I propose a simple and profitable exchange. You give me information, I give you time.
Okay.
What do you
What
say?
kind of... Oh, what do I say? I say, yay! What kind of information does he need?
Hieronymus sips at his tea.
The information can be characterized as the general situation. The one who possesses it doesn't even find it valuable.
Okay.
But I do. So?
Alright, let's tell him we're ready.
Zemeckis sets his cup aside.
Wonderful. Mr. Christ, did you hear that?
Who's he
Our
talking
friend
to?
is ready to help us, himself, and the entire dome. Quite inspiring.
He looks you in the eye.
My first request is simple, but listen carefully, please. Go to Carmine Heights and survey as many of the locals as you can.
Okay.
I want to know their opinions about me participating in the upcoming election.
Yeah, of course.
Don't ask leading questions. Let the people speak their minds.
Oh, great. So he's a politics loser. An R-pol loser.
I shall humbly await your return.
Hieronymus takes a sip from his cup and shuts his eyes, pleased.
Oh, no, wait.
The Phalanx leader loudly raps his teaspoon on the rim of his cup to attract your attention.
Yeah.
He produces a contract with a blue stamp.
Mr. Leonard Pitt,
Part 6 or something.
you have many useful talents. I hope you will choose to stay with us.
The orange shakes his heavy head.
Thank you, but we've got a good team with this person here.
He pats you on the back.
We've got a good team.
Zemeckis spreads his hands to show he's not at all offended by the refusal.
As you wish. Well, I won't delay you further.
Alright then, nuts off. Let's go to wherever. There is a couple of things on the old map. Let's have a look. Where do we want to go? We've been told that there is a second important relic at the Junktown, which is, it used to be here, but this has been replaced by the name City, but Junktown is like a borough of City, I guess. So that's where we need to go. There's also an unknown location here. Yeah, unknown location here. So maybe we can go up to there. But let's head back to our vehicle and we'll head up there, and I will likely see you when we get there. All right. Okay, so I think what we are going to do is hand in this stuff to Todor and the other guy. It was the item that we got from that warehouse we were sneaking around. And the other item, I couldn't really believe why I didn't already have this in my pocket, but it is a piece that you get from the pod in Junktown. I can't remember what episode it is, but we have looked at the pod previously, like all the way back in the first season, probably quite near the beginning, but I didn't have it in my pocket, the item, so I went and picked it up. I just can't believe I'd missed it for some reason. So let's go and hand these in. This is for the quest. So yeah, there you go. Let's ask very quickly about Zemeckis. The engineer Gal grimaces. Have you gone nuts? Candidacy is written across his forehead in huge red letters. That word. If that cunning prick wins, I swear I'll pack up my belongings and skedaddle. Let's give her the icebreaker. There you go. Sick. And also we'll hand in the shearlight fibre. There you go. Why, Dawdle? Let's get the Isosuit and see who's right, she says. Okay. Do we get to press the buttons? You approach the suit, the hydraulics activate, the strut is lowered, and the massive mounts expand to the side, raising the exoskeleton's chest plate. There you go. 3 takes. Pretty good. There you go. Plus 15 rep. After carefully measuring the icebreaker, Robin inserts it into a slot on the servo shell's chest plate. There you go. I can't speak, honest. Turning the regulator all the way up, Hellworth powers the system and the interior of the suit lights up with a hard, shimmering glow. The dosimeter in Todor's hands immediately starts to click. The device only falls silent when Gurdjieff wraps it in shearlight fibre. The experimenters look at each other in surprise. Seriously, she says, does your shearlight stop the radiation? Because it looks like it didn't. Robin looks at the relic, then at her colleague. Todor shrugs and scratches the bridge of his nose, confused. And it shouldn't, he said. Although I have a theory. Turn down the amperage, will you? The amperage. Robin reduces the power to the icebreaker. Robin. One of my rats is called Robin. And its glow becomes steady and dim. Now that the relic isn't shining so bright, the reactive glow from the shearlight becomes clearly visible. Yeah, and the other rat at the moment, I've got 2 at the moment. They're girl rats. They're lovely. One's called Robin. One is called Nico. I don't know if anyone knows, but that is that's a character from like something. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. It's a thing. Todor, you ingenious son of a gun. Or is it me who's a genius? Do you realise what we can do with this? Hellworth barely suppresses a laugh of triumph. Ask them if they are able to test it. On the contrary, we refuted the hypotheses, but discovered an effect we didn't know about, which has changed the whole concept. Yes, exactly, the result of the synergy between our design ideas, says Todor. We gotta work like this more often, okay? And thank you again. Tell Johann we've made a new breakthrough. Todor extends his hand to you. Say you're happy to help. Let's do it. Cheers, man. Examine the suit or repair it. Okay, that's quite a low repair. There you go. And the device on the counter turns out to be much more interesting than you'd have guessed. The suit has been altered apparently many times. At first glance, it's just an exoskeleton with the armour removed and the actuators loosened. Then an additional energy source was added to power a strong field generator, a very complex generator, judging by the controller. After the suit's stuffing was rearranged once more, the insides have been organised to make space for another sizable mechanism. Hard to say what it might be. There you go. You can read the rest of that. So I presume that that is that quest done.
Johann is finding it hard to drag himself away from his notes.
Ah, it's you again. Sorry, I got a lot on my plate. I would certainly chat otherwise. Although, if you're here regarding our common cause, I'm listening.
He looks at you expectantly.
Report that we helped Robin and Nico.
Johann spreads his arms uncertainly, as if about to hug you. Instead, he sheepishly pats you on the shoulder.
Thanks for your help. Carmine Heights has high hopes for this suit. Unfortunately, that wasn't the last problem urgently requiring a solution. It's about the water supply.
Okay.
Carmine Heights gets all its
Got a new
water from
quest?
salt marsh. It passes through a distiller at one point, which is a bottleneck on the entire system. It has sufficient power, but people are constantly complaining that the water pressure is too low. It only comes out in a thin stream.
He exhales angrily and glances at Olivia.
First world
The
problems.
sources of water are the laboratory, the kitchen and the shelter, and the hydroponics farm. I'm guessing it's a configuration issue, but you should talk to people in those 3 places first. That's it.
Laboratory,
Take care of the water problem, and I'll
kitchen,
take care of
hydroponics.
Johann walks over to the workbench. His body language makes it clear he doesn't wish to be disturbed.
Alright. But didn't we have something else to give him?
Johann is standing by the workbench, digging into some kind of device. This mechanism, resembling the insides of a...
Okay. So yeah, that's a new quest. Yeah, we need to tell him about the blasted family that we've sorted out and found them all dead. Weird, man. So canteen, lab, and farm. All right. Yeah, it is a shame you can't control this. You can't control the movement based on the map like you can in a lot of these kind of isometric. Let's go back and talk to the farmers then. Yeah, a lot of the kind of quality of life stuff just isn't there with this, with Encased. I mean, it might be because, I mean, again, I've heard kind of disturbing things that the game was never finished. We do seem to be getting a few of those kind of game not finished. Yeah, I did one on the... Ooh, yeah, I did one game called Stygian on the channel, on the last iteration of the channel. It's a great game, but it was clearly not a finished product. Ooh, we can take stuff from... Oh, what? Yeah, nice. I'm going to have to do all that. Let's do that off camera. But yeah, let's... is there anyone to talk to about the water pressure here? Yeah, I think that's kind of an upshot of the way the... You know, like Steam. Because Steam kind of incentivizes like people to release games maybe before they are finished. Okay, so let's talk to Easton Nyberg.
So, where were we?
Ask him how things are. How are things? Bad, frankly, he says. Not even my ex could bring me down like this. Just zing. Bit of a zinger. Yep, you can read that. Fine.
Hello again.
Okay, yeah, it is, thankfully. Ask about the lab. It's not a secret. Our water supply is messed up, man.
Johann is standing by the workbench, digging into some kind of device. This mechanism, resembling the insides of... Judging by Johann's expression, he already knows.
So I've been informed.
What?
The problem with the water pressure persists, but thanks for trying.
This already been... I'd already adjusted
Our
it.
agreement.
The
While
smack.
you were solving Carmine Hikes' problems, I took care of the beacons. You can find them in the safe.
He hands you a key.
All right then. So there's
Your sleeve.
I'd like to invite
There's
you
the
to a
thing.
family dinner as a token of my gratitude.
Sure.
Kiss your hand.
Perfect. Come anytime. Olivia loves to cook, so it's no problem if you just drop in.
The blue responds with a small smile.
Great. Then what are we waiting for?
Okay, we can
Come to the table. We will
take
just
dinner right now. So yeah, let's do
Join
this.
Johann and Olivia at the wide table. Set out upon the light blue tablecloth are a white porcelain bowl of green soup with glassy onion rings, a scalded Atlas salad, roast beef and gravy, and fluffy white bread. The meal is almost a feast by Baron's standards and surprisingly abundant, considering that most of it is prepared from mutant lettuce.
Yeah, we're just about to get the doomsday whistle. In fact, there it is. Isn't that pretty? The thing about the doomsday whistle is, yesterday my country tested its emergency broadcast system. So that was the real doomsday whistle that it tested. I presume because of the war in Ukraine. Because, screw Putin, not screw the Russian people, because the Russian people didn't want this war either, but yeah, definitely screw Putin, and, viva la resistance, and yep, let's, hope that everything goes well for the forces of democracy and freedom. Freedom! Even though this is a Russian game. But yeah, like I say, the Russian people didn't really want this war either. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Oh no, we're going to carry on with this. Then I'll do the sign-off.
Sitting between you and her husband, Olivia takes Johann's left hand and your right.
Let us pray. Repeat after me. God bless this meal.
Johann sighs loudly.
Oh, pray for what, Olivia? For the dome, or maybe for Maelstrom to disappear? We're doing science here, not some religious shamanism.
The blonde laughs softly and elbows Johann.
But honey, it's tradition. Of course, we all believe in science here. Okay, no prayer today. Let's eat.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I really hate the word shaman because it just gets bandied around incorrectly by just about everybody on Earth. But it could mean what it means in reality, because shaman are from the kind of Arctic region of Russia and that kind of area. Where else? No, it would just be Russia, yeah, because everything's Russian. So yeah, they might mean it in the correct way that a shaman, as in, like a Eastern and Northern Russian, from that kind of Arctic place in Russia.
Help yourself, please.
Olivia murmurs, serving you more salad.
You know I cook a lot. I'm good at it too. But Johann barely eats anything. He's always busy with his inventions and science. Well, that's common enough, I guess. More sauce?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we were pulled up about it at university, but we definitely, we shouldn't be using the word incorrectly. I don't think it does anyone any favours. It just kind of shows how inauthentic people are if they use that word.
Johann stops eating for a moment.
You know, I have to listen to this every single day. I don't think food should be fetishized, and dinner shouldn't be taken to mean gorging oneself.
Alright.
It is an occasion to come together and talk.
It's just food, man.
Gathering.
Say that it was a bunch of relatives engaged in small talk, or cozy and private, or very solemn. Admit that due to personal circumstances. Yeah, let's do that one. Had no family gatherings,
Raysner
why not?
nods absently.
I can't decide whether to express my sympathy or not.
Yeah, pity me.
After
Poor
all,
me,
a
poor me.
family is about family,
Pour
not
me another
He
drink.
notes
Oh,
in a subdued
oh.
tone, picking at his salad. Olivia forces a smile.
Don't win friends with
A menacing
salad.
silence hangs over the table. It's as if you're in the center of a storm that's about to break out. Olivia's fork trembles in her hand.
So quaint to bring up the topic of family, and also timely.
She says assertively, emphasizing the word family. She flirtatiously primps her hair and looks straight at you.
Since we're talking about family, did you ever notice how your mother looked when she was tired? I remember mine. Always thought she was hysterical. It was only when I had my own family that I realized why my mother always looked like a walking corpse. Sometimes on weekends,
That's
she
not
would take
very
me
nice.
into the garden and just lie there, not moving. What was your mother like?
Yeah, mine is like... Mine's certainly not like a walking corpse. Let's say I'd go for something a bit more kind of autobiographical. She's always annoyed and exhausted. Yeah. There you go. Active, lively, and
Olivia
ruddy.
shakes her
Why not?
empty glass with a bitter smile.
Yes. When Mom wasn't lying with a book in the garden, she was smiling. too.
Somewhat autobiographical. I try not to
Mulberry pies.
be personal or to talk about personal stuff on the channel. It's
I remember
just...
my mom's hands. They were so thin, like a witch's. She had a young face and old hands. She always kept them hidden. You know why that is. It's my father. He was slowly sucking life out of her like some vampire, but I never realized it until I myself got married.
She casts a meaningful glance at Johann, making him squirm.
At least now you're not pretending that we're not talking. Surely our guest's presence has a positive influence on you?
Sip my
Olivia
coke.
sets her fork aside and gives you a look of contentment.
As a child, I naturally didn't notice anything amiss about my parents. And yes, I loved my dad. Now I realize I was unconsciously looking for
Everybody
a
loves their
companion exactly
daddy,
like him.
yes.
And I found one. A too similar one, even. Just as serious, just as private, just as unable to listen. So similar, in fact, that
Johann noisily pushes his plate aside.
I think you're straying from the subject at hand. We were talking about traditions.
Olivia grins.
I was
ruefully.
talking about
Oh, yes, I
food.
was describing our main tradition.
I just want
which we both
food.
borrowed from our parents.
all I
and
care
brought to
about.
Our own family. We're the same as them, and our marriage is like this because you, Johann, don't know how to negotiate. You don't know how to
Politics,
listen.
not
You think
very
everything aside
interested
from your
in,
work
even though this is like
insignificant.
personal politics.
If that was only
But I'm
our
not interested
concern,
in
I
that
wouldn't do it
either.
Like I've been doing for many years now. But we have come
Not
like
just
this.
the
It
leadership
is about
politics.
just because we can't agree on some things. God knows I didn't want to bring an outsider into this conversation, but since you are not listening to me, maybe you'll listen to what the employee has to say?
She's looking at you, desperate for some support.
Let's say that everyone in this situation is right in their own way. Olivia sounds reasonable, but Johann probably has his own view on the situation, which he's chosen not to share.
Johann nods seriously.
Yes, of course. We're engaged in completely different tasks, each focused on our own strengths. I conduct and supervise scientific research, while Olivia is busy with politics and the economy. Are things
It's
really
very
so bad
slowly
that the settlement
given
needs to
us
be
the
saved?
dialogue.
What I've been trying to say is that we've got a stable and rational system.
Yeah, wasn't this a complaint I had from the first season as well? That some of the
I was
dialogue
talking
is
about
given
something
very
else,
slowly.
yet again, he isn't listening.
I mean, dramatic reading is fine, but this is just like small talk. Who cares? Just be quick.
She nods severely at you.
Thank you for joining us for dinner. Johann and I were both glad to see you.
Alright, thanks, bye-bye, and there you flaming go. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for episode 37 at last. It's taken me days to get here, and then hours, and minutes, and days, and weeks to get here. But yeah, thanks for watching. We're a little bit tipsy. Thanks for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more Encased, or if you want to see more RPG and strategy gaming in general. Alright, thanks very much. Bye for now.
Let's go, Tybalt! Great adventures await!